disassemble this thing. I've watched a couple of videos from Spike online. I don't remember what they said. Anyway, just gonna do my own thing. I don't like to scratch anything, so let's go get some towels. Lost that real quick. These are my junk towels. Save the nice stuff for brewing. We will start. Upside down. So none of this has been cleaned. I'm just going to assemble it. And then of course tear it all apart later. Start with the legs. I sure hope these are long enough. They said when you get the 9-inch extensions that you don't really need the triangular plate at the bottom. If you went and got the 18 extensions, it would be about that high. Then you would want the plate on the bottom to keep the legs, a little bit more stable. But with 9 inches, it's fine. If I find it's a little wobbly, I can either make a plate or just buy theirs, but theirs is pretty expensive. I think it's like 70 bucks for that little piece of stainless steel on the bottom, just because it's lasered and cut with their logo on it. All right, those are tight. Maybe I should put some, later on I'll put Loctite in there. It doesn't need to be food grade safe, see? They have Loctite. They did not put, I didn't notice that they put Loctite on there. They did not. Let's just go grab it. We've got a little bit of it left. We do not want to touch this with anything we have here. I like how it's red Loctite, but it's actually blue. There's a little blue. Maybe a little bit more blue. So we put some blue Loctite on there. We don't want these to come apart. There's no reason why to ever take these apart. Maybe once a year check, make sure you don't have any rust in between these gaps here. Thoroughly spray this with Star San. Star San's good for your stainless steel. Got a nice turn. Yeah, those are on there. You could put pipe wrench on there, but best thing to do is just go ahead and put your man hands on and crank down on it. And if you're not strong enough, go get your daughter to do it. Nice drip on the floor, that's why we're doing this over here. Give it a little spin. Okay, one more. Don't step in your Loctite. Mama doesn't like it when you track Loctite into the house. Little spurs there. Little spurs there. I got some other thread locker somewhere else, but it's the paste, but this is working out just fine. All right, let's get this cap on here. Get this away from the nice stuff. Star San cleans everything. Drip. There you go. Bye, drip. Okay. Back to the casters here. So we do have 1/2 inch bolt on the bottom. See how far we can get this to go. Of course, you know, we've got grease on there. You stay there for a second, please. Grab a new caster. Let's go find our wrench. All right, we got 5/8. 5/8 wrench. This is kind of greasy and oily right there, so we don't really want to touch that. There we go. Got it on there. Just wrench this guy on. Ooh, that Loctite is working. And of course, my wrench is too thick to fit in there. So I see a downfall in here. So also, I forgot, we can lock the caster. Let me just do that. Lock the caster. Yep. Give her our spins. There we go. Don't need a wrench. Man. There we go. Let's go ahead and leave that locked. Lock that caster. So, if you don't know much about casters, when you lock them, it doesn't only keep the wheel from rolling, it keeps it from swiveling too. Which is why we're able to screw this in. I would suggest keeping them out at an angle with the leg. If you leave it in, then your footprint is smaller. Looks like your footprint is smaller by at least 2.5 inches if your casters are inside. So leave those outside. And if your floor is not level, it looks like we can just back these off and back them off until it's level on the floor. Yeah, their Loctite works pretty good. Side. You got a pretty good little footprint there, and that is plenty of space for the sight glass. So I'm gonna enjoy that. That's 9 inches for me. It was perfect. I like it. The legs are a little, it's like they're a little bowed in. Let's do this, folks. Let's put this on the floor. Let's move all this back. Oh, come on. Oh, he didn't make it. Thought one was going to go. That was fun. That was a fun part of the day right there. All right. Let's get this stuff in the hand. Well, I think it's pretty good. I like it. Go ahead and clean our hands up a little bit. I feel like I touched some grease on there. Spray. Take that out. Good boy. I'll use some soap there. Our hands. All right, let's put this lid together, huh? So, leave that laying out there. We have our lid. We have our ring. We have the seal. Let's see here, Spike. What you got? We got your liver will fail before our equipment does. Not mine. So, if we look at this seal, it does have a flat part. So we have the top of it basically looks like the pitch or roof of the house. So if I read right, we are just going to put the flat part inside this ring. Oh, they also said, let's get this out of the way. They did say, don't put this ring in and just start going in a circle, because then you'll end up with this bubble sticking out. So we're going to start it, for you it would be 6 o'clock. So we'll start at 6 o'clock. Come over here. We'll do 12 o'clock. That fits in there. That's a good fit. All right. 3 o'clock. 9 o'clock. This is all your time. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead, and this thing is, I have my shop lights on. This thing is so shiny, it's blinding me. I can't really see what I'm doing. All right, we're just gonna press this guy into place here. I'm sure, you know, when I do this, I will be taking everything directly out of the Star Sand. So, you know, as a lubricant, it will help put this together as you go. But this is a very tight fit. You can tell that Spike's tolerances are very high, which is great. You can tell that they truly think about their products. Nothing's very sharp right here either. You know, I wouldn't be really worried about damaging the ring here on this lip. It doesn't seem sharp enough to do any damage to it. That's in there. She's a little wonky bumpy, but you know what? She's gonna press on all the same. I usually clean with a mat down. I use silicone mats. I might Star Sand the mat, flip this over, and just give her a good press all the way around when I'm sanitizing. And then of course I'd probably, yeah, see, that worked out pretty good. And then put this back in my Star Sand mixture, clean it one more time, and put it on. So from there, let's put this lid on. And you know what? Let's not put the lid on. It's ready to go though. Let's start with some ports so we can see what we're doing. So normally, I guess you should start at the bottom. So let's make sure you can see me here. And you can. Adjust this camera a little bit. Let's get this back up in an easier working position. All right, so what I want to do is, they already have an elbow. I don't typically put it there. I might just steal what I have already. I think it's what I already have is a pretty good system. I might not use their elbow, but I might use their butterfly valve. But we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and steal this. This is closed. I might have a little pressure in there. Let's open, make sure we don't have pressure. Have a little bit. Let's take this guy. All right, this is already cleaned and sanitized and was under pressure. So, being said, this is kind of wonky and I always have trouble doing this. This thing's so heavy. Whoop, see, missed already. TC clamps are not easy. They're not. You see everybody's little whippity-doos with their TC clamps. They like practice that stuff, I'm telling you. There's that. That's how I'm going to run that. That is a really good height. On the website it says if you get the 18 extensions, it's high enough to, I think actually it's high enough that on your racking port you can transfer straight into your keg. But I do pressure transfer, so I don't care about that. All I care about is having enough room for a pan down here to collect. You know, for my, I usually just use these little guys and slowly open and out it comes. Collect it, take it in the garden, get rid of it. That's plenty high enough. I can run a little tube down, which also helps so you don't make a mess. If you don't have this reducer coming off your butterfly valve and you open that butterfly valve, you've seen videos, it's gonna spray everywhere. Get yourself a reducer, put a hose on it, right into your collection vessel, whatever you're using. This is racking port, so we're gonna need double. So everything's fairly clean here. We're gonna go 1.5 TC. If you stick your finger in there, you can feel the thread. You can give yourself a nice little spin, feel where the thread stops, and you're ready to go. So we're going to go TC. Actually, I'll let these on the bottom. A little more. There we go. Everything's in line. Let's see here now. So we have our direction. You can see which direction we are. Ooh, that's pretty tight. So for the racking arm, you want to, when you first put your board in here, you want your racking arm kind of like 4 o'clock. You don't want it facing up. You don't want work going into your racking arm. You also don't want the racking arm to be in your tube or in your yeast. So you typically leave it, you know, around 4 o'clock. And that's what our indicator here is for. Once this thing is on and you're ready to use the racking arm, you need to be careful to loosen it and actually spin it. So you've got to loosen it enough while there's beer in here and turn it, which helps when you have star sand, but we might just leave that for now. We kind of want it to be able to rack later. They make ones, actually I should probably forget this one. They have one that's actually a ball valve in there and you just turn the handle. But I don't know if they make it for 1.5 inches. There's that guy. Go ahead and put this guy on. Here's our sample port. Put your thumb in there. Give it a little spin. top to the leg line. Sample ports in. Closed. Yup. Thermal probes. We'll put the thermal well in. We're not using the dial. Oh. That's going to work great. All right, from there, I think we can use it. We need this guy. This guy's going to go. You got to think about this stuff. I want it to open and close toward me. I'm right-handed, so I want like that. Put that back on. Everything lined up nice and neat. I typically have everything facing down. I like all these facing down. If you give them a little wiggle, they usually tend to turn a little bit more. All right, and then from there, that's what I'm going to do. I need to get another one of these. So when I transfer, when I do my pressure transfers, I'll have my hose coming off, going into the keg. I might even get a smaller barb fitting. There's that. That's closed. That's all on. And yeah, that's about it for that. Outside is buttoned up. She's a little front heavy with that still good. Now, like I said, you could turn those casters and make sure you can level them with the casters. So these two need to be lowered because we need to raise this side up. But she's going to sit over there. So actually, when I go to do this, I will adjust this so she's level. So these two also need to be run down. So this thing needs to lean back just, well, that's a good ½ inch. The casters are just for wheeling this thing outside and cleaning it, spraying her down. All right, so if I grab you, here we go. Digital thermal well, and then we have our racking arm, and it's sitting at about 4 o'clock, and that's where you want that whenever you put your beer in here. Maybe it's easier. Let's see. Now that I have the ball valve on, to turn the racking port. Oh yeah, that's how you want to do that. Okay, so I just loosened the clamp for the racking port. Not enough to even come off, but I loosened the clamp for the racking arm, and then I just used the ball valve to spin it. That's how I'm going to do that. So we are at 4 o'clock right now, and then you have your clear tube. You're transferring your beer, your finished beer, and you can just keep turning this until you get it all. I kind of feel like this could be bent a little more down. We do have. Let's go grab this guy. Oh yeah. Don't be talking crap on Lowe's. I bought this a long time ago. All right. So from the bottom, there's the cone. There's the bottom of the cone to the racking port. And we're gonna say it's actually touching right at 4, but you're gonna need, it's gonna stop at 4.5 inches. So I will actually measure this. I will put liquid in here. I'll fill this up, I'll probably fill it up to, 7 gallons. Start doing a transfer, letting it go out, let the water go out. When it stops transferring, I'll have a line down here of how much water's left. And then I'll dump that out through the sight glass into a bucket, collect it, weigh it. I'll tell you how much water was left down there. So you got to know that. That's your wart dead space, that you're not going to be able to collect. So like I said before, you got to know your system. And knowing your system, you got to account for that whenever you're doing your profiles and your recipes for your beer. So if you want exactly 5 gallons in your fermenter, you need to know these numbers. You need to know your system. So I'll measure that, how much dead space is down there at the bottom, because I won't be able to collect that. And